Yeah.
Oh, the meeting isn't on your.
No, it's just the meeting has not been started yet.
Okay, okay, go out and come back in and let's see it then.
Oh, okay.
It's just the meeting has not been started. So for those of you who are wondering, we have some new software here that we're trying to implement. It looks like we're beta testing it right now. So,
Okay. I see.
Did it let you join?
Okay, I see an agenda, but I don't see how to vote.
You got it? Okay.
How do I vote?
Let me see.
Oh, join meeting.
There you go.
Okay.
And then up here.
Oh, okay.
You know what?
I don't see how I
Yeah,
can vote.
no, it's not. The button
Sorry,
isn't
Bob,
on.
I don't see how I can vote.
That's okay. The button isn't on.
Yeah.
7.1.
The button to vote isn't on. When it's on.
I'm over here.
Oh, because it's here.
That's
So
it.
do I
Yeah,
have to
this-
go to the item to vote?
Maybe do a drop down.
So I have to drop down to. Oops. Okay,
There it is.
I'm at the, I'm at the approval of the agenda and I still don't see a way to, oh, it says unsynced.
It came up on Phil's, but
Maybe if I press sync.
Okay, do it. So if you click it, speed it, and Esme seconded,
Has anyone seen the button?
and then.
I
you
see
click
action.
vote on.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, here, now I see
There you
it.
go. Okay.
Yes, I got to vote. Okay,
It's history that works.
I still don't have it.
No, it's on your other.
it was right the
It
first
said
time.
it was unsynced.
So you have to press sync.
It's funny because it's showing up
But I
here.
can't do anything with this.
It doesn't let you do it.
It just gets bigger.
Software.
Is it because it has two? I think so, yeah, because it's only gonna allow one. Password. Yeah. We can't fix there, see? It's over there.
Ah,
There you go, okay.
okay.
Yay, we all voted.
Okay, that exercise is finished. Let's see if we can tackle the report out from closed session. There was no action taken, so there won't be anything to report. That's a safe one. Board member reports. Does any board member have a report they'd like to share? Okay, I don't have one either, so we'll move on to the student board member reports. Christoph, we'll let you go first today.
Does that work? All right. Last Thursday, MVHS welcomed the parents of the MVHS community to visit the school. The event kicked off with the back-to-school picnic with many clubs and organizations around campus selling goods to fundraise for the rest of the year. ASB and ambassadors were present to guide parents around the school, which helped the event run smoothly. This was followed on Friday with our monthly Spartans Pause, which was and always is a huge hit with the student body. This event was organized by ambassadors as well as many parent volunteers. We also had guest speakers who presented the many opportunities for students who might decide to pursue data science as a career, which was a big turnout during tutorial. Senior Sunrise kicked off last Friday, a yearly tradition where seniors meet at school before sunrise to celebrate their last year of high school. This was a huge hit for the seniors, where hot chocolate and bagels were served for over 200 seniors. We look forward to this week, which is packed with events. We start off the week with our first Spirit Day, class colors, and we hosted a rally in the gym. We will have our first home football game this Friday, and ASB will host a back-to-school blast-off right before the game.
Okay, any questions for Krista? Thank you, Krista. Sadie?
Last Friday was our back to school night. Parents, teachers, administrators, and students were all on campus to start the new year. We had a very strong turnout. Dr. Meyer, Ms. Vonnegut, and Ms. Spot were also in attendance. We sent out a feedback form and got 60 responses. People really liked the leadership students helping with directions, especially with all the construction going on our campus. Students were also selling Eagle cards for ASB and athletics fundraising and class shirts for class fundraising. Last Friday, we had a presentation from our counselors about letters of recommendations. And it was able to help our seniors with their college aspirations, and the College and Career Center was always open to help us with anything that we need with Naviance, the Common App, or any of our essays. This Friday is our first Blue Friday. ASB will be hosting face painting by the National Art Honor Society students, games, music, and Eagle Juice giveaways in the quad at lunch. These Blue Fridays happen every month and are a great way for all the students to de-stress and have a little bit of fun during their busy schedule. As a Green Ribbon School, Los Altos was selected as a site for the U.S. Department of Education on at 8 a.m. on September 20th. We are one stop out of 11 North and Central Californian schools. This year's theme is High Schools for Climate Solutions. And as a Green Team member myself, I'm extremely excited for this, as we've been able to make a lot of really big changes on our campus, certain practices we have, and even the buildings that we learn in. Quite a few of our new buildings are LEED Gold and LEED Silver certified, and we thank the district for all of their help.
Very good. Thank you, Sadie. Questions for Sadie? Thank you very much. Okay, we shall move now to the superintendent's report.
All right, thank you.
Well, it has been a very busy first month of our since our opening, and a lot of things have been going on. I do want to once again thank our staff for putting on dances and games and all of the work that goes on behind the scenes and throughout the evening and weekend. So we're very grateful for the hard work that goes into everything that you're going to look at right now. So continuing with our focus on excellence, equity, and engagement, we've been visiting classrooms and looking at the excellent instruction, discussing equitable ways of better serving our students, and continuing to look for engagement within the classroom, certainly, but also outside of the class. I wanted to show a brief video. I think I've mentioned previously that we have 2 student interns this year, and they have created something called the MVLA Minute. And so this is an MVLA Minute, and I think it really speaks for itself.
As you all know, summer is over, and that's right, folks. School is officially in session. The MVLA campuses are alive once again. In this week's MVLA Minute, we will take you on a visual journey of the MVLA campuses as the new 2023 to 2024 school year begins. We hope you have an awesome year.
All right, and if you're from my generation, you know that sound from 60 Minutes. But moving forward, Let's see. Thank you. Thanks. So here you can see Mountain View High had an avid parent night, and they filled their new building, and appropriately they have the beautiful flags of the world that they have in that part of the campus. And I know Dr. Glazier and the AVID coordinators were there, and they really had an exciting evening with a lot of enthusiasm this year about the AVID program. So we're very excited about that. We're also wanted to announce the MVLA Parent Education Night, and this speaker series that we hold each year is a partnership with the foundations from Los Altos School District, as well as Mountain View Wisman School District, and our PTAs on all of our within all three of our districts. And so you can see the speakers who will be coming to our campuses, and they are in the theater at Mountain View and Los Altos. In September, navigating digital coming of age, and in October, how to raise an adult and break free of the overparenting trap. In November, a conversation about how puberty has changed. And I'm interested in that because I don't know how it has changed. And I'm very curious about that. And then in March, why college admission is rigged and how to beat the system. And so I'm interested in what that will be sharing as well. So I know it's very catchy and it really gets your attention. So I look forward to those, and I really want to encourage you, if you have not been to any of the speaker series, to attend. They are also on Zoom, so you can hear them from home. And it's just well done event with our parent partners. Also wanted to say that I very much enjoyed back to school night on both of our campuses. And I do have to tell you a little behind the scenes. Sadie encouraged everyone in the picture, said, okay, everyone, come on, we're gonna, because I wanted a photo, and you can see her there on the right. And they were selling t-shirts and Eagle cards and welcoming everyone who came and helping them find the classrooms that they wanted to go to. And the same was happening with our ambassadors and our ASB at Mountain View High School, who had a wonderful event out on the field with booths and music and welcome speeches and song. So just very well organized, well done, and kudos to the team who put that together. So some pictures here. I always like taking pictures of the principals when they're speaking because they usually take the pictures themselves and they're not in them very often. And it's also good if you're new. We have new and new 1 year to get that picture so you can remember that first moment, because it's sometimes kind of a blur. So you can see Los Altos and Mountain View welcoming our parents. They were very enthusiastic, and you can see the event that I spoke about on the Mountain View field, and just a real nice time for people to get together and to support our clubs and boosters. Wanted to also share, and I know I showed a picture of this last time, but our wellness centers on all three of our campuses are ready to go, and they're a nice oasis where students can go and have a place where it's quiet, and also where they have an adult there that they can talk to. We've made them very comfortable, and really the leadership of the site administration who put them together. And you can draw, you can do puzzles. There are a lot of things going on at the Aztec Igloo, Eagle Escape, and Spartan Spot. Also at Alta Vista, to kind of share how the last 2 weeks, what we've seen there, they're really I'm seeing more activity, just physical activity, which I love at Alta Vista. I think it's healthy, and I think it really gets students engaged. And they have volleyball. I know they have basketball. They have foosball going on in their kind of rec area, which is different than the wellness calm area. And then also classroom pets. Now this glass aquarium looks like it might be some kind of slithery thing. So I didn't get close enough to see what was in there, but reptile alert. Also wanted to share at Los Altos, you mentioned, or Sadie mentioned the award and the recognition for the green team. They not only do things that support the campus with green activities and being conscientious about use of paper and food waste, they go out into the community and plant trees and really make a difference within the community as well. And the partnership between Los Altos, who are kind of the mentor, long-standing group, and Mountain View, who are really doing a good job of learning and creating their own niche, is really wonderful to see on our district committee that we have. You can see here the concert choir. I think this was in the first 2 weeks, they recognized Principal Ranieri and Assistant Principal Morales, who had birthday songs. I don't think every staff member gets the birthday song. Let's hope not. That might take a little while. But also you can see the back to school night. Both campuses had back to school dances right away. So if you see a site admin, and we see a couple in here tonight, 3, thank them, because it's a welcoming thing, but it's exhausting if you are over 18, let's just say. So then moving forward, the Freestyle Academy is just such a lovely place to visit. I go there often, and you can see the creativity and the work that they're doing on campus with the digital arts, film, with the music that was in the minute. And just they're really excited about the campus. The teachers are very excited about their classrooms and the new equipment that they get to use. And you'll see later when we have our construction report, you'll see some of the beautiful building from different angles. Just a gorgeous place to teach and learn. And here at Mountain View, one of the wonderful things that happened over the summer, also in the basketball court, it got somewhat of a facelift. It's brighter. I know the principal was very involved in the design and in direction of the gym, wanting it to be brighter without the yellowish tinge that it had. That was kind of the yellow of Mountain View, and the new painting that occurred, as well as the new mascot on the floor. And Christoph mentioned the senior sunrise. You can see here, I think I think that was a couple weeks ago, but they're very excited about that real memorable occasion that was planned by ASB. And then lastly, some celebrations of gymnastics and the athletes that we have that are the gymnasts, and they were the 2023 CCS champions. Also to share, and I wanted to just share here, middle college, they come back a little later. And so they do some getting to know you and community building activities prior. And I asked Suzanne real quick, where was this? Because it's so beautiful, but we have a lot of places that look similar, but they went to Yosemite. And so they had the opportunity to be, and it was hot, she's saying. And so just a great opportunity to bond and camp. And you can see here, Uno, I think I'm seeing there, which is a great camping standard game. But they really do come back stronger as a stronger team, and the staff really already starts out in a good place. And then also we've been having, and Michelle Bissonette and I have been hosting parent engagement meetings. And really the purpose of these meetings is to ask the parents, how can we better serve you? And so we've been collecting a lot of good information from parents about how they would like to participate in leadership and things that they would like to see on our campus. And this is just one of those meetings, and continuing to have these meetings and taking notes on the things that they'd like to see, the things that they believe have worked well, and some of the things from their experience as parents that they wish we could have done better. So it's a great opportunity to learn. I do want to share the important dates. We have Labor Day holiday coming up next Monday, a week from today. We have some meetings coming up September 11th, but I did want to point out Tuesday, September 26th. We usually have them on Monday, but it's a Jewish holiday on Monday. And so we want to make sure that we allow everyone to honor that evening. And so September 26th, it will be Tuesday instead of Monday. And then October 16th. Back to school night at Alta Vista and Freestyle will be the 31st. So that's this Thursday. And so all are welcome to attend 6 p.m. at Alta, and then Freestyle will be at 4. So if you want to hit both, 6:30. Okay, thank you. 6:30 at Alta. Oh, at Freestyle. Okay. So I had that time. I think it may have changed since I wrote that a while ago. But anyway, 6:30. So even better, if you want to go to Alta Vista, you can then go to Freestyle, and they're almost simultaneous. And then, as mentioned, the speaker series, Growing Up in Public, which is helping students navigate digital coming of age. And that ends my superintendent report. And you can see here a very engaged student body. Thank you.
Thank you, Ellie. Stephen, did you have something to add?
No, I had a question. I had a question, and you may not know the answer because it's still early days, but I was just wondering how students were engaging with the wellness centers. Since it's early in the year, I know students probably are not probably feeling academic pressure, but I'm hoping that they're finding it a fun place to hang out regardless.
Each time I visited, I've gone in, and there are always students that have been in there. And so that's been positive, not large numbers. And so I know our principals have a login, and we're tracking that. And so I would say, I'll see 3 to 5, but it's been consistent and regular, and different students each time as well. So I don't, so we can certainly, actually, that might also be a nice thing to report on in a future meeting.
Yeah, I would love to hear an update about that, because I know, to me, 3 to 5 for something that started recently is very encouraging, but I would love to hear more about it. And also what we're doing to get, you mentioned we're getting student feedback on how to make it more welcoming to students. So I'd love to hear more detail about that and what we as a board can do to help.
Excellent. We'll make a note of that.
Thank you, Stephen. Okay. Thanks again, Nellie. Good report. Communications. This is the point where representatives of our associations would speak, but I don't see any here tonight. So I think we'll just move on there. Now it's time for public comment. Any member of the public wish to comment on an item not on the agenda? And I see none, so we'll move on to the consolidated motion. So is there any item on the consolidated motion that a board member would like to pull? No. In that case, may I have a motion?
I move that we pass everything listed on
Approved.
consolidated motion.
I second.
Since I'm the only one consecutive.
So moved by Esmond, seconded by Theda, that we approve the consolidated motion as presented, consisting of items 14.2 through 14.9. Student board members, Sadie.
I approve.
Thank you, Krista. Thank you. Board members, time to press our buttons. And it looks like 3 yes, 2 absent, and that's it.
Okay.
Okay. That went good. That went much smoother.
We're catching on quick, aren't we?
Very impressive.
So we're up to the business and action items. The summer construction updates. Mike, this is you.
Yes, thank you. And you got a little preview with Dr. Meyer's report. We coordinated a little bit. I see many freestyle photos only because technically we moved into that in the last week of May. And we had plenty to fill it with what we did in the summer. So summer's busy in the world of business services and school districts. Students get out. Summer school's in there. We work around that. That's the time we do our regular maintenance of classrooms, as well as an opportune time to really get in there and finish our new construction, as well as do what we refer to as modernization, which is really remodeling, but modernization and facility repairs sounds a lot fancier. So we have a lot of pictures in front of you, and I invite you to take tours and see it in person. And we're planning some ribbon cutting ceremonies for our new buildings once we finish some of the exterior work, which I will get to. So we'll start first with Mountain View, since it's nearby. We had an aggressive plan to vacate the art and science wings and make some improvements and move back in, because it's hard to do science in a regular classroom without the lab spaces. Same thing with art. So that was really a time crunch. We did new roofs on the building. So this is an aerial photo of the science wing before they put on the metal roof. So you can see they stripped it of the old roof and are about to put on what you see here is a metal roofing, which is more durable and lasts much longer. So that's the science building. Inside in both the art and science, and you'll see this throughout the theme through these facility repair projects, those holes in the ceiling are where old fluorescent light fixtures used to be, much like you see in this boardroom. And so a big part of this project was to remove that old lighting. Of course, it exposes holes in the ceilings because fixtures used to be there. So we have to patch those holes, replace it with LED lighting, which is even more energy efficient. And instead of it directing down and the annoyance of fluorescent lighting, the LED lighting can be a little softer and more natural light tones. And then it projects up off the ceiling and bounce down. So look closely, but there's no lighting fixtures on the ceiling anymore. They are hanging down. Don't be confused with the hanging tracks. This used to be a physics room, so they would have hanging tracks for things that roll and whatnot. But you can kind of see it near the HVAC duct, new lighting. And this is just one example of it. Similar work was done in the art wing. In the 500 wing, which is out in the athletic fields, we've stripped those classrooms. There used to be exterior walls here. They're gone. And so you can see a lot of the data cables and other electrical that used to run along the wall, not in it, but along it. We had to save those and we took down the walls. You can see it from another view. This is looking from the 400 wing to the 500 wing. For those of us that have been on that campus of any length of time, it's odd to see these wings with no exterior walls in the structure. But we're making way to put in new framing and new windows on these exterior walls to maintain that natural light, but new windows are more energy efficient. They're safer, easier to operate and get natural airflow, and then we'll put new window coverings on them. What you're looking at here is it's room 517, formerly the engineering room. Of course, we built several new engineering rooms in the new classroom project that opened 2 years ago. So we're actually converting this space to the dance room. It provided kind of ready to go square footage, open square footage space, as well as some built-in office and storage spaces. So you see that mid renovation. And of course, new roofing on this wing as well. So you see that in progress here. So that's a lot of the summer modernization work, art and science. We completed and we're ready for students to come in on the first day of school. The window coverings arrive this week or next, and we'll be installing those. But the rooms are ready to go for students and teachers to actually start school, albeit not technically completed. But we avoided having to have other temporary relocation. All right. Oh, sorry. One other thing, the 500 wing. So you can see this is what used to be the gendered restrooms, male and female student restrooms, completely gutted. And we're making identical gender neutral restrooms like exist in the 200 wing. And so if you've been in those or been by them, took those same plans and repeat here in the 500 wing. So individual, fully enclosed, single occupancy toilet rooms with a large bank of sinks. And so the 500 wing will go through the fall semester, hope to wrap up in the early winter season, right around the turn from fall to spring semester. Of course, what's hard to miss and probably even more exciting is the opening of the student services building. As you can see, some of these pictures were before construction, but I would suggest this is probably not much more than a week before school started, if you can believe it. Still a lot of dirt work around, but it's amazing how quickly they frame, pour concrete. We're here on a Saturday pouring asphalt, getting that whole thing ready. but quite an impressive building like Los Altos, we'll see later. Here's it from the ground level after they poured some of those concrete curbs. We're waiting to get kind of fancy framing vertical beams that are on the front every day. More and more of those go up, so we're getting closer to completion. Here's a view from the second story inside. This is from the front near the staff lot, looking back and down. So really kind of highlights the open air spaces, the two-story feel of it. Lots of places for students to sit and be in small clusters of students or wait if they have a counseling appointment and whatnot upstairs. The student services building at Mountain View does include 4 classrooms. So this is one of the 3 standard classrooms upstairs with beautiful views into the quad, if you happen to be up there. And the 4th classroom is downstairs. It's primarily designed to hold the ASB and leadership classes, but obviously are used for other classes as well, depending on what teacher is in there. But it's a key component of that building, as we did demolish 8 classrooms to make way for this building. This is a principal's office. Still, I think this was move-in day or thereabouts, but large enough to have a conference table to meet with her team or others, and not use up the other medium and large size conference rooms that are in this building. And then this is kind of the open office area workstation. A lot of the administrative assistants sit and other clerical staff. It's right off of where teachers come in for the staff workroom, get their mailboxes, things like that. This is one of the typical offices. This is upstairs. This is a counselor office. You can see space for students and parents to come meet with them. It looks a little bare here, but that's when we get the pictures in time to post for the board meeting. They're very full now. This is another office, but it's more of a therapist office with some different type of seating that is tied to kind of the functions that happen in some of the therapist offices. And of course, I didn't want to do 10 pictures, but this is just representative of the student services building. Has a new kitchen and cafeteria area. I know they've already been using it for a parents' coffee, I think, as well as students eating in it. But if you ever were in the old cafeteria, which is still standing, this is double the size of the prep area. And if you think about it, we planned this building, started planning it in 2019, 2020. The consultant said, "Oh, how many meals do you serve each day?" We serve about between 300 to 400 meals daily, because back then that's what we served. That was before pandemic, before universal meals. It's designed, approved, starting to construct when, thankfully, the state of California said everyone should eat at no cost to them. But now we're serving 1,100 meals daily. So more meals in the space that was originally designed for less than half of that, but quite impressive. And the food service staff is excited to be in that space. Comparable things going on at Los Altos. We refer to this as facility repairs in the 400 and 500 wings. So at Los Altos, they have some covered walkways. And so we had to get access to the interior of campus by the pool. Some of those had to come down. So you have to support the remaining structure so it doesn't collapse. So some of the work to get that ready. This is looking, the pool will be beyond you. The 500 wing is to your right, the 400 wing to your left. Just to get a sense of the tightness and space to get in that. That's a big dump truck back there, and the big backhoe, you'll see what it was doing here in a moment. Trying to avoid the trees and avoid the poles that support the roof. It's some tight spaces to get into this project. So here, roofing is part of this project, comparable Mountain View. So you see an example of that, re-roofing. Inside the classrooms, this is one classroom where we are covering up, certain walls and whiteboards to protect it. We're stripping down some of the wire molding that has the electrical and data cables. Again, new windows will go on there. You can see the empty ceiling tiles because that's where fluorescent light fixtures were. Replacing that again with hanging LED lights. We talked about new roofing. HVAC was done a few years ago at Los Altos, so that's not part of the project at Los Altos, but it is at Mountain View. And then this is a before and after picture. So just to give you your bearings, this shed to your right or storage structure is right there. On the other side of that building, you'd have the pool and the pool deck. To the left is the 400 wing. We are looking at the 700 wing, 2-story 700 wing off in the distance. So that was there, and then it was no more. So it comes down actually pretty easily, that particular structure, even more so. And so that was demolished to make way for the building pad, and we're constructing there 2 new classrooms. designed primarily for PE, but could be used for whatever the school has needs for, and more activity type spaces. There's an athletic director office in that building. So that's what's going to go there, just adjacent to the pool on the south side of it. And then also taking a look at Student Services Building, which was a few days behind Mountain View. They moved in that first Friday afternoon. We started school on a Wednesday, and talking with staff there, better to get school going and students really need to go and then move in later that week. Just let's focus on one chaotic time, or thing at a time. For old time's sake, this is what there was before. So that was the old single-story 100 wing and admin building. And then here's what it looks like now, almost that similar or same vantage point. It's 2-story structure. The part sticking out to the left of that photo is a nice conference room. Upstairs, a lot of the admin services. Down below, counseling, therapists. Up above, there's also a large classroom up above, again for ASB leadership. Nice open air deck looking down into the quad. This is from the quad angle, so you can be looking, those big sliding doors open the student union. Those can be left open and can really create an indoor-outdoor feel. So pretty impressive space. This is inside of the College and Career Center. So one of the opportunities with these buildings was to put everything literally under one roof. Prior setups, you had the College and Career Center, near the library, and counselors' offices were somewhere else. You had to walk them over. So now it's really literally almost next door to all the counseling offices. I mentioned the classroom. I was getting ahead of myself, but this is ASB leadership classroom upstairs. Big tables, small tables, plenty of space to work and store stuff. And the intent is to be used not just one period a day, but if clubs need to use it or other groups need to go in there and throughout the day, or whole classes in there, it's a larger size classroom. Maybe you're combining 2 classes for a speaker and need a larger space. Maybe you could swap rooms for a day. This is a view upstairs, second story, where a lot of the counselor offices are, kind of upstairs reception area, just to get a sense of what's there. A lot of furniture, seating along the windows for students to sit as they're waiting for an appointment, or just to be, frankly. There's 2,200 students on each campus, and it's nice to have a place to go, even if it's not all in the library or in the quad, just to have a place to sit. There's a lot of built-in charging stations, both electric cables and USB cords built in for that. And this is just inside from the quad, looking at the student union. So you can see nice kind of open air feel up to the second story, as well as down below. There's more furniture in there now, but this was in the early stages of moving in. Through those glass doors, gets you into the main kind of reception area and admin offices and whatnot. But designed to be a place for students to just be and enjoy it, and then can also host meetings in the evening, PTSA, booster groups, things like that. And then just a couple pictures, one from the quad on the left, early in the morning with the sun in the background, kind of get a feel for how it interacts with the quad. And then the picture on the right is looking at the open area workstations, a lot of the support staff, clerical staff, administrative assistant staff, to be all the way up to the top of that second story ceiling. So a lot of open air, natural lighting in that space. And that gives you a brief update in pictures of what's going on. As I said, the pictures are static. Things have changed even since then. And so we look forward to having everyone out. We have some landscaping left to do, a few finishing touches, paint touch-ups, get the health inspector to sign off on a fume hood in the kitchen at Mountain View. It's just a couple examples, but we're almost there. And then we'll have a full walkthrough and a big celebration regarding that. So that concludes my update.
Thank you, Mike. Any questions, comments for Mike? Esmond?
Yeah, I have one, and maybe you're going to get to this. Have community members been able to kind of see some of the new buildings? Will there be opportunities for that? I know a couple folks who supported.
Yeah, so yes and yes. I think the big formal one is when we have a ribbon cutting ceremony, and we can tie that in with more community tours and open houses and whatnot. I do know, just given events, like I mentioned, the Mountain View one, and I'm not sure about Los Altos yet, but hosting a parent coffee and made use of that space to invite those parents in. I think only because I see the emails, there was a limited number due to space consideration. Is that right, Kip? Parent coffee. So we will have more opportunities, because I think you're spot on that this is a big support of the community of what they did. And and how do we showcase it and invite them inside.
Steven?
Yeah, just to add to what Esme said, I think you mentioned parent coffees, but actually the community voted on the bond. So it's thanks to the community that we have this lovely space. So I know that there are always space considerations, and also, it is a high school, but I'm wondering if there is some way that we could have a community event, because it is, after all, wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for the community voting to increase their taxes to pay for these beautiful, and they look beautiful, and they're a considerable improvement over what was existing.
Yeah.
But when you drive by, you may not necessarily see it, because this, especially Los Altos, is set pretty far back.
Yep. Yeah. So we can certainly look into arranging some of those, and as we're discussing it too, a reminder, we can work too with sending out a community update. We did that, I think, after the classrooms were done, just highlighting the work that's done and showing obviously how we benefited from the community's generous support of that. So a mailer or something like that to remind folks of these projects and how we've been using those public funds. Yep.
I just wanted to add that I thought your photos were really great. They really did show the improvements. So maybe they could be put on a website so people could look at them.
Sure.
Because I don't, much as I would love that everyone watches our board meetings, I think your pictures would be seen more if it said, like, there was a link to, this is where your tax dollars were spent, and had some before and after pictures, because it really is very striking. The difference. And also I want your work to be recognized.
Thank you. Yeah, I spared us all watching the the video that shows like the super speed up view of 2 years of construction, but we've had those links always available. I don't have any data on I'm sure I can get it, how many people actually go there, but if you have a few minutes, sometimes that, what is it, quick time or fast motion, like it's pretty impressive. You see it all moving around and how quickly the building goes up. So we can add some of these there. I think
and I think also if you contact the paper maybe and say, like, here's where you can see it. Maybe they might be interested, because it is, there are nice pictures too. So I don't know.
So I would just add, I think both Esme and Sita have made a very important idea come prominent. And that is, we do have to thank the taxpayers for the support that has made all this possible. And I think back to the days when I was at Los Altos, my kids were at Los Altos, and my wife was in charge of the grad night. I don't know if there's anybody here who remembers the old grad nights, but the parents used to build a grad night in the quad and invite the whole community the day before it was actually used to come in and look at it. It was a grand unveiling. And lots of people showed up, little kids, old people with grandchildren. It was great. If we could do something like that, say, community, thank you. Come see what you have paid for. It's marvelous. Have students give guided tours, all that sort of thing. I think it would be a real boost. So thank the two of you for bringing that up. Maybe we can make this happen.
Yeah.
Good.
And thank you all for all your efforts, staff too. Couldn't do it without you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I will pass it along. I left out the painters union strike, the contractor no shows throughout the summer, the supply chain issues and equipment delays, but it doesn't go unnoticed, and I will pass it on to the folks.
We've seen the many change orders, so we know there's a story behind each one, even if we don't actually know the full story.
Correct.
Well, since you brought up change orders, I feel compelled to say, did you see the headline? I think it was in the Chronicle, maybe the Mercury today, about how apartment building has ground to a halt in Santa Clara County because of the rising cost of building. So it's not just us who have been affected. It's others as well, everyone. So that's the sad story there. Okay, our next item is 16.2, student counselors. Who's handling this one? Terry, Nellie?
Certainly do so. What you have, as this works, okay. What you have before you is an agreement with San Jose State University for the placement
Of counseling interns. And I do want to share that a board member came to me with a question about student teachers and counseling interns. And she was unable to be here tonight, but she shared that she had a great interest and supported the counseling interns, but she was interested in the number. And I think we have the number is between 5 and 10 student teachers, and we are expecting the counseling interns to arrive at Los Altos. So they will, for the most part, shadow our expert counselors. They will participate in supports, work directly with students, much like a student teacher. So this is an agreement that memorializes what we want to do with these partnerships. It states that they will be supervised by a San Jose State professor, and that we will just agree on evaluations.
So it has a rather lengthy contract. You could see the expanded agenda. It looks reasonable. May I have a motion to adopt resolution number, let's see, that is 23/24-6, placement of San Jose State University student counselors.
Motion.
Moved by Theta,
second.
seconded by Esma. Okay, Christoph, your turn, sir.
I approve.
Thank you, Sadie.
I approve.
Thank you, Sadie. Okay, board members, it's time to press the buttons. And
I have to log in again. There we go.
okay, we have 3 in favor, 2 absent. Motion carries 3-0. Okay, next we have item 16.3, resolution 23/24-7, declaration of need for fully qualified educators as revised. Who's handling this one?
I can certainly do so. And if we have specific questions, we can ask our team. But this is really the form change. So we previously agreed on and voted for this. And this is a routine item, but it is a resolution. So it was approved, but we're resubmitting it due to the new form. But the information that we provided that is attached did not change. So this just states that our need for fully qualified teachers whenever we have a staff member that is teaching perhaps outside of their credential and you're allowed to, but it has a certain class that is different, then we must note that and send that information in, and you have that here before you.
Okay, thank you for the explanation. We did in fact essentially approve this once already. It's not very different. So may I have a motion to adopt resolution 23/24-7 as revised?
Second.
Okay, moved by Esma and simultaneously seconded by Theta.
Sorry, I didn't know you were going to read the whole.
Yes.
To adopt resolution 23/24-7. Sadie.
I approve.
Thank you. Christoph. Thank you. Board members, time to hit the buttons. And it looks like 3-0 approved, Sanjay and Catherine absent. We're up to the 17 section of the agenda, board suggestions for future board reports meetings. We've already had one. Any others you want to? We have lots of them, lots of departmental reports coming up. So we'll be seeing those. Okay. We'll move on now to item 17.2, communications correspondence. I haven't received anything. Any other board members have something to share on correspondence? In that case,
We did,
Superintendent?
oh, yeah, you have the letter, right? From Mayor Hicks?
No,
It just came, I think. I
Oh,
saw it in my
okay.
email, but I haven't had a chance to
Oh,
read it.
okay. Yeah,
No, I
there was
haven't seen
just a communication from Mayor Hicks on the meeting on September 18th outlining the details. Dinner is from 5 to 6, and then it's a public meeting from 6 to 8 p.m. And it's going to be at Michael's. So anyone who wants to attend the public meeting, since it is a public meeting, can come to Michael's.
all right, thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Thea. Okay, date, time, and place of next meeting. The next meeting will be. That seems to be a misprint there. It says The
September.
next meeting is going to be August 22nd. That's not right.
No, it's
September.
Monday. but
Yeah.
it's to,
September,
11th?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
September 12th is this, right?
No, 11.
It's the 11th,
The next.
Oh,
right?
Wait, is that? Yeah.
Yes, September 11th.
Okay.
okay, September 11th it is then.
Okay.
Right, and that's Yom Kippur is on Monday, the 25th, so.
Very good. Okay, I believe that takes us to adjournment.
Oh, we're on 18:03 now.
So, board members, do I have a motion to adjourn? We have nothing to reconvene.
Motion to adjourn.
Oh, there you go.
Moved by Theta, seconded by Esther, that we adjourn. Sadie,
I approve.
thank you. Christoph, thank you. Board members, trying to hit the button. And it looks like 3-0 with Sanjay and Catherine absent. So the motion carries